Please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Well, straight to the top story this evening. Over 300 lives lost, over 220,000 people forced to move to relief camps as Kerala battles its worst floods in a century. Heavy rains continue in many parts of the state and the Met Department is predicting this to continue till Monday. The state government has already declared a red alert in all 14 districts. There are reports of landslides across Udupi, Kozhikode and Malappuram, among others. The Defence Ministry has already rushed in fresh teams from all three wings of the armed forces for relief and rescue operations. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is scheduled to visit the flood-ravaged state tonight and undertake an aerial survey. Our team of reporters who are in various parts of Kerala have brought us these ground reports across the state.
I'm in Pandalam itself, where, as you can see, a lot of people are gathered around. You can see the town completely inundated. As I was showing you since morning, the situation has not changed. I don't know, it's still the same. You can see a lot of people who are outside their homes because their houses are flooded. There is no basic amenity, and of course, rescue boats are right now doing its job. You can see boats going in and about to rescue officials. Rescue people, rescue locals here. So as of now, rescue operations are on in full swing. Several hundreds of boats have gone inside Pandalam to several bylanes here to get people who are stuck there outside of there. In fact, several people are stuck in their homes, on their terraces, seeking help, and they've all been, they're trying to go to as many houses as possible. And also one more thing that I'd like to point out is that the rescue officials are finding it difficult to go inside because of the intensity of the water flow. It is quite strong, which is why not many boats are able to reach really too far. So that's a challenge they are facing. I will just go across to the MLA of Adur, who's been also monitoring the situation here. Sir, ഇവിടെ ഇപ്പോൾ എന്താണ് അവസ്ഥ? ഇപ്പോൾ സിറ്റുവേഷൻ എന്താണ്?
ഇപ്പോൾ വളരെ വല്ലാത്തൊരു സിറ്റുവേഷനാണ്. ആളുകളെല്ലാം പല സ്ഥലത്തായിട്ട് കുടുങ്ങി കിടക്കുകയാണ്. ജലപ്രവാഹം വലുതായിട്ട് വർദ്ധിച്ചിരിക്കുകയാണ്. പന്തളം മേഖല പൂർണ്ണമായും ഒറ്റപ്പെട്ടിരിക്കുകയാണ്. പന്തളത്ത് നിരവധി ക്യാമ്പുകളിൽ ജനങ്ങൾ ഒറ്റപ്പെട്ട് കിടക്കുകയാണ്. അവിടെ രാവിലെ മുതൽ തന്നെ അവരെ രക്ഷപ്പെടുത്താൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് ഇപ്പോൾ ബോട്ട് സർവീസ് നടത്തി കുറച്ചുപേർ രക്ഷപ്പെടുത്തിയിട്ടുണ്ട്. പക്ഷേ ഹെലികോപ്റ്റർ സൗകര്യം വേണ്ടി വരുമെന്നുള്ളതാണ് ഇപ്പോൾ മനസ്സിലാക്കാൻ കഴിയുന്നത്. ഇനിയും നിരവധിയായിട്ടുള്ള ആളുകളെ രക്ഷപ്പെടുത്തേണ്ടതായിട്ടുണ്ട്.
So he is trying to say that, you know, the rescue efforts are on, but that's not enough. They might need chopper services also because they are not able to get access to many areas. Many people are, have been shifted to relief camps and relief centers. And so there is a challenge. And as far as Pandalam area in Pathanamthitta district is concerned, he is saying that now it's completely cut off and people really need help.
Alappuzha, one of the worst hit districts in the state during these devastating floods. Thousands of people who have already been rescued from several villages, Kuttanad and adjoining areas. Several of them still waiting. It's night, dark, and still waiting to be sent to relief camps here. Some of them waiting for their relatives, some of them waiting for vehicles to get to relief camps, children and old alike. അമ്മ ഇന്ന് എത്ര മണിക്കാണ് ഇവിടെ എത്തി? എപ്പോഴാണ് വീട്ടിൽ നിന്ന് ഇറങ്ങിയത്?
ഞങ്ങൾ വീട്ടിൽ നിന്ന് 7 മണിയായപ്പോൾ ഇറങ്ങി. ഉളുങ്ങുന്ന് വന്നപ്പോൾ 9 മണിയായി. ഉളുങ്ങുന്ന ആശുപത്രിയുടെ പാലത്തെ കയറി 5 മണി വരെ ഞങ്ങൾ അവിടെ നിന്നു.
അവിടെ വരെ എങ്ങനെയാ എത്തിയത്?
നീന്തി വന്ന് ഇത്രയും നീന്തി കയറി വന്നത്. പിന്നെ വരുന്ന ബോട്ട് നിങ്ങൾ പ്രായമുള്ളവരുള്ളത് കാരണം ചാടി കയറി പോരാൻ മേലാത്ത കാരണം ഒത്തിരി ബോട്ടുകൾ പോകുന്ന കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് പോരാൻ പറ്റിയത്. എന്നിട്ടും ഞങ്ങൾ 3-4 പേരെ ആദ്യം വന്നുള്ളൂ. ബാക്കിയുള്ള ആളുകൾ ഇപ്പോഴാണ് വന്ന് ചേർന്നത്.
എല്ലാവരും ഒരുമിച്ചല്ല ഈ ബോട്ടിൽ നിന്ന് പുറത്തേക്ക് വരുന്നത്.
ഞങ്ങൾ രണ്ടായിട്ട് ആ ബോട്ട് കയറി ഇവിടെ വന്നത്. ഇപ്പം ഞങ്ങളെല്ലാവരും ഒന്നിച്ചുകൊണ്ട് ഇവിടെ.
Okay, she's saying that it was around 7 o'clock when they left their house and they did not have boats. They had to swim to one particular place from where the boats rescued these people and got to the mainland. But the biggest challenge now for people who are being rescued is some of their family members are not being rescued together. All of these people who are coming, they are coming in different boats. Members of the same family sometimes coming in 3 or 4 boats and being sent to different relief camps. Now members of some of these members do not know where the other members are, do not know which of these camps they are in, trying to find out where the other family members are. That is going to be a big challenge now that thousands of people are being rescued and sent to these camps, which are, going out of space. The number of people who are coming in are much, much higher than the camps can actually accommodate.
Well, Radhika and Revati touched a little bit upon the rescue operations, and as we have been telling you, rescue operations have been stepped up across Kerala, and all three wings of the armed forces are right now working along with several other government agencies. So here are some more updates on the rescue operations at this point in time.
Approximately 700 soldiers, along with specialized engineered task forces. In whole, they have, over the past 9 days, they have rescued approximately 4,800 people. These 4,000 troops were rescued by the troops in Pangod. In addition to that, the DSC Center, Kannur, has also provided troop resources, for which total about 15,000 people have been rescued on the whole from various stranded places.
Continuous air sorties are being undertaken and people keep coming. Additionally, we have more than 40 teams of divers along with rubberized Gemini boats in 4 districts of Kerala. We have from Kochi here, we are mainly focusing on Ernakulam, Trichur, Pathanamthitta and Alappuzha districts.
Now, acknowledging the damage in Kerala, the insurance regulator has also swung into action. In an advisory note, it has asked insurers to ensure that no trouble is caused to victims with respect to claim settlement, and has asked to keep the settlement process simple. IRDA directed the insurers to keep the settlement claim similar to the one that was followed during the Chennai floods. That is, the entire protocol should be similar to that. Now, to help those stranded in the state and provide a platform for donations, the Kerala state government has announced the Chief Minister's Distress Relief Fund. If you would like to contribute, donations can be made either by cheque or demand draft or internet banking at donation.c-m-dr-f.kerala.gov.in. Helpline numbers have also been made available for those stranded. The numbers are on your screens. They will appear on your screens very shortly. Now, a great poet, an excellent orator and a true statesman who earned respect from across the political spectrum, the last rites of one of independent India's tallest leader, Atal Bihari Vajpayee, were conducted with full state honours today. Atal Bihari Vajpayee was cremated with full state honours at Spriti Stahal, situated on the banks of the Yamuna River in Delhi today. His adopted daughter, Namita Bhattacharya, lit the funeral pyre. A 3-time Prime Minister, Vajpayee, who had the distinction of becoming the first non-Congress Prime Minister to complete a full term, an orator par excellence and a true statesman, Vajpayee was known as an Ajat Shatru, or the man with no enemies, for his knack of making friends across political lines. Apart from the entire BJP top brass, including BJP chief ministers of various states, thousands joined in the procession as the mortal remains of one of the tallest leaders of independent India was taken from the BJP headquarters at Ashoka Road to the Spriti Sthal. Leaders from across the political spectrum were present as well. And that's not all. Several foreign leaders also travelled to India to pay their last respects to the former Prime Minister. Well, here's a look at the life and times of Atal Bihari Vajpayee.
ऊंचे पहाड़ पर पेड़ नहीं लगते, पौधे नहीं उगते, न घास ही जमती है सिर्फ बर्फ, जो कफन की तरह सफेद, कफन का जो कपड़ा होता है ना, सफेद कपड़ा, उसकी तरफ इशारा किया गया है.
The quintessential Atal Bihari Vajpayee seeking a reconciliation with death. In this statesman's world, there was no such term as retirement. Born in Gwalior on Christmas Day in 1924, Vajpayee began his political career with the student wing of the Communist Party. But he found his true calling with the Bharatiya Jan Sangh, which he co-founded in 1951. When the emergency was declared in 1975, Vajpayee was detained, only to emerge as one of the top leaders of the Janata government. After the government collapsed, Vajpayee helped form the Bharatiya Janata Party in 1980. In the next 15 years, Vajpayee was to lead the party from just 2 seats in the Lok Sabha to nearly 200. In 1992 came the Ram Janmabhoomi temple controversy, one of the most difficult phases of Vajpayee's political career. When blood spilled on the streets after the demolition of the Babri Masjid, Vajpayee's stand remained nebulous. In 1996, Vajpayee finally got his first shot at leading the government, but the adventure only lasted 13 days. Vajpayee insisted that he had not been defeated.
We have given up office, but not our responsibility to serve the nation.
Vajpayee returned to power with a stronger mandate in 1998. His popularity spiked when India successfully conducted a nuclear test in Pokhran. A year later, he became the first Indian Prime Minister to take a bus into Pakistan through the Wagah border. But just when all seemed to be going well, the coalition fell apart. Public sympathy, however, was still with the man who had successfully handled the Kargil war. In October 1999, Vajpayee became Prime Minister for the third time, a tenure that lasted its full term. The highlights of this stint were Vajpayee's attempts at peace with Pakistan despite the parliament attack and his carrying forward of reforms. But this was also the time of Vajpayee's biggest shame. He was widely criticized for his reluctance to intervene in the Modi government's handling of the Gujarat riots in 2002.
जो कुछ गोधरा में हुआ वो सबके लिए शर्मनाक है, लेकिन गोधरा के बाद गुजरात में जो कुछ हुआ उसकी भी उतनी कठोर निंदा होना चाहिए.
In 2004, the NDA ran the India Shining campaign pegged on India's surging economy. But things did not go according to the plan. NDA lost the Lok Sabha elections badly. Following the defeat, Vajpayee slowly withdrew from active politics, taking on the role of a Margdarshak, one who would show the way forward for the party. History, however, will remember Atal Bihari Vajpayee as one of India's finest prime ministers, a true statesman of modern India.
CNBC TV18 exclusive. The Theresa May-led UK government has launched the largest IT contract by any government till date. The £3.2 billion contract aims to radically transform the country's railways. In fact, the government has invited requests to submit proposals. India's TCS has been formally invited and is the only IT company to have been formally invited to submit an RFP. Now, typically how the UK government works is that preferred IT players are invited formally to submit RFPs, but other tech majors can bid for it after a month. So we understand from our sources that players like Infosys, HCL Tech and Wipro are also likely to submit their proposals. Now, talking about the timeline, the bidding process will only start later this year with a contract of 10 years, which begins in May next year. The contract components will include automation, infrastructure services, analytics. Remember, this contract also assumes significance because the United Kingdom had resorted to spending cuts for the last 8 years, and this will be one of the largest bets that they have taken to completely transformationalize end-to-end their entire UK railway services. However, we weren't able to get an official confirmation, but yes, big positive and big move coming in for the IT sector as a whole. But let's talk about stories from the aviation space then. First up, the Air India board held its meeting in Delhi today to discuss ways to revive cash-strapped airline. Corporate bigwigs YC Deveshwar and Kumar Mangalam Birla, who were inducted into the board earlier this month, attended that meeting as well. Ashpreet Sethi is here with the details on this story. Ashpreet, take us through the key highlights of the board meeting today.
Well, there was a crucial Air India board meeting that happened today. Now, this is for the first time that YC Deveshwar, the ITC top management, and of course Kumar Mangalam Birla were present at the meeting. Kumar Mangalam Birla was part of the meeting through a video conference, while YC Deveshwar had come down to Delhi for this meeting. In a bite, he's saying that it is like homecoming for him, because remember, he was the Air India chairman almost over 20 years ago. Now, what we did pick up from sources in the morning was that during the board meeting, there were discussions held as far as waiving of certain loan amount is concerned. Remember, the debt is to the tune of 45,000 odd crores, and also as to what kind of lease that has been given to aircraft holders. Remember, Air India officials have been saying that they are going through a lot of issues as far as paying EMIs towards these loans are concerned. They are taking cost-cutting measures. However, there has to be a solid step taken as far as equity infusion is concerned. Remember, the Secretary of Civil Aviation Ministry, R.N. Chaubey, had said that 2,000 crore rupees will be coming in soon in phases. Air India CMD had told us day before yesterday that salaries have started coming in. But it remains to be seen whether any proposal has been cleared at this Air India board meeting, which had two top corporate management people part of the board meeting.
Okay, Ashpreet, thanks for taking us through that. But staying with the aviation space and talking about cost-cutting, turning around of aviation companies, Jet Airways continues its drive to shed excess baggage to curb its inflated debt. CNBC TV18 learns that Jet Airways is in talks with TrueJet to sublease 7 of its ATR aircrafts for a period of 5 years. Utkarsh Chaturvedi is standing by with more details. Utkarsh, Jet continues its debt reduction drive at this point in time, but help us understand how significant is this in the broader scheme of things in terms of its cost-cutting drives?
So it's one of the first steps for the turnaround of the ailing carrier. The company is looking to sublease its smaller aircrafts. Now, the airline is currently in talks with TrueJet to sublease its ATR planes. ATR aircrafts are small aircrafts which were serving short-distance destinations for the airlines. Now, sources tell us that the airline is in talks with this regional carrier TrueJet to sublease its 5 aircrafts for a period of 7 years. Now, these aircrafts will be sent to TrueJet for a wet lease, which will include maintenance, engineering, and employees as well. Now, this will help Jet Airways cut its sourcing. Subleasing the aircraft might not give Jet Airways a lot of instant cash, but what it is looking for, but it will help cut majority of its current costs. Also, some of the ATRs which were grounded as well, because the airline had shut down non-profitable routes, so that will be useful for paying the lease rentals as well for Jet Airways. Now, Jet Airways is also looking at sale and lease back of its current wide-body aircraft to get some instant cash, along with the other measures which include stake sale in Jet Privilege. Now, TrueJet has confirmed a news break saying that the company is in talks with Jet Airways to wet lease of its aircraft. Jet Airways, at a comment, said that the company continues to evaluate all possible alternatives to ensure optimum utilization of its fleet.
Okay, fair enough, Utkarsh. Thanks for joining in with that. But let's move over to the telecom space. Reliance Communications can breathe easy. Today, the Supreme Court ruled in favor of the company and stayed the appellate tribunal's order on differential pricing. The Department of Telecom, in fact, had issued a notice to Reliance Communications asking it to pay 4,200 crore rupees towards upcoming spectrum payment dues. Ashwin Kumar, who was in the court today, is here with the details. Ashwin, this is, of course, a huge boost for the company. But what does this mean in terms of Reliance Communications' plans to cut debt, and of course it's a pending deal with Reliance Jio?
Well, this was a main sticky point as far as the RCOM-RGO deal is concerned, and in a manner of speaking, the Apex Court, by way of granting an interim stay, has smoothened the process out. But keep in mind, this is only an interim order and not the final order. Now, as far as our viewers are concerned, just to give them benefit of some context, 2012 is when 800 megahertz spectrum had gone up for auctioning, invited absolutely no interest. The government had slashed the prices by 50% in 2013, and RCOM had managed to secure 800 megahertz spectrum at slashed prices, and subsequently in 2015 and 16 auctions, the prices for the same spectrum had gone up substantially. Now, what's critical is that in the year 2015, the spectrum trading guidelines had come out, and Clause 8 of the guidelines essentially said that if RCOM is to go ahead and to trade or to sell the spectrum 800 megahertz that it acquired in 2013, then it will have to pay the difference between the depressed prices of 2013 and the highs of 2016. That difference, what sources tell us, can add up to as much as 4,000 crore rupees. So the Apex Court, as of right now, has stayed the TDSAT order which had held against RCOM. But keep in mind again, this is only an interim order. Finality will only come in once the Apex Court gives its final verdict. Back to you.
All right, Ashma, thanks for joining in with those details, but completely out of time on that note in this edition of What's Hot. Many thanks for joining in on the show. Have a great weekend. Stay tuned to CNBC TV18. We will bring you all the top stories of the day with India Business Hour in 30 minutes. Thanks for watching.